Once again, it was a very successful event held by the Gibraltar Darts Association. This year's Kronenbourg 1664 Gibraltar Darts Open attracted over 100 players from all over Europe, including 10 youths and 10 ladies. Players travelled from Spain, the UK, Germany, Holland and even Norway to join the Rocks darting fraternity at the St. Joseph's School Dining Hall for a full day of darts, culminating with the 4 finals up on the big stage. Throughout the afternoon, I managed to speak to several of the visiting darts players and asked them why they had come to Gibraltar.
Came with 15 other people. I haven't been before personally, but they come every year. They have such a good time in Gibraltar. They have a nice drink, nice time, and they enjoy their darts. So I'm very pleased to come with them this year.
He venido porque a mí el tema de los dardos me gusta bastante, tengo una cierta cercanía y esto es un campeonato bastante interesante porque viene gente de todos lados. He escuchado decir que hay noruegos, holandeses, ingleses, gente del mismo Gibraltar y como por ejemplo mi compañero Ángel que viene de Huelva y gente de Cataluña.
We are 5 people from Norway who wanted to experience the high level we have down here. We wanted to get experience and wanted to see how great it is, and I think it's a great tournament.
Things started off at midday on Saturday, with 8 boards being occupied by the men's competition and the ladies and youth events taking place across 2 boards each. We'll start off by taking a look at the youth tournament, which this year featured 3 locals, namely Ryan Basadoni, Erin Barnett and Jace Askes, as well as 3 girls from Norway who had travelled all the way to Gibraltar as part of a 5-person team, specifically to take part in the Gibraltar Open. Unfortunately, no local player made it to the semis, with Ryan Basadoni being knocked out in his final group stage game against Christine Bjornestad, who is the 5th ranked junior in Europe and a member of the Norwegian national squad. The semis saw Christine face Derek Park, with Derek ultimately proving too strong for the Norwegian, beating her 3-0. In the other semi, Kane Jacqueline beat Ryan Sullivan by 3 legs to 2. In the final on the big stage, Derek got the better of last year's champion, beating him 3-1 to claim the youth title, as well as the coveted place in the Windmill World Masters. This year, due to the fact that the GDA are given a place at the Windmill World Masters for boys and a separate place for girls, a girls' playoff game had to be played between the top 2 ranked girls of the youth event. This game was again played on the big stage between Catherine Bjornestad and her fellow Norwegian Malene Fredriksson, with Catherine in the end winning the tie 3-0. On to the ladies' event, which saw a straight knockout format for the 10 ladies. The final on the stage featured Jill Vine from the UK and Laura Damont from Catalonia, and in the end the Catalan proved far too strong for the Brit, beating her 4-0 to claim the £100 cash prize, together with her trophy and secured place at the Windmill World Masters. So finally on to the main event of the afternoon, the men's competition. There were over 80 entries for the event, including over 40 locals. Most were knocked out in the early stages, but it was very promising to see no less than 4 Gibraltarians in the quarter-final stage of the competition, with 3 making it through to the semis. Dylan Dorr played against Henry Zapata and eventually won the local affair by 4 legs to 1. GDA President Justin Breton won his quarter-final against Manolo Lopez 4-0 to set up a semi-final against Dylan, meaning that there would certainly be a Gibraltarian in the final. And Dyson Parodi beat Phil Butler 4-1 in his respective quarter-final. The last quarter-final was won by Jack Cook, who would face Dyson in the semis. The semi-finals were very promising for local darts, as both Dylan and Dyson won their respective semis without dropping a leg, to set up an all-Gibraltar final, ensuring that for the first time in its 9-year history, the Kronenbourg 1664 Gibraltar Open would be won by a Gibraltarian. It was a great intense final between Gibraltar's top 2 professionals, with Dylan just boasting a few more years of experience on a professional circuit. But ultimately Dyson pulled away from Dylan and eventually won the game by 4 legs to 2 to claim his £400 cash prize, together with his trophy and place at the Windmill World Masters later this year. After the final, I had a word with Dyson and asked him how it felt to be the first Gibraltarian to win the Kronenbourg 1664 Gibraltar Open.
It feels tremendous, you know, having this tournament in Gibraltar for the last 9 years and no Gibraltarian to win it. it shows how much determination the Gibraltar Darts Association and the Gibraltar players have for this tournament, and to be the first ever Gibraltarian player to win this tournament, it's just over the moon. And it shows that with good training, good practice, just be right in your head, you can achieve anything.
Like you said there, this is the first time that the Gibraltarian has actually won the tournament. Not only that, but it's also the first time in the history of the tournament that two Gibraltarians have reached the final. Obviously this means big things for local darts.
Oh, of course, yeah. Me and Dylan, we participate all abroad, in the PDC, and we are week in, week out. We're training with the big names of darts. This is like, my commiserations to Dylan, but this is a payout for the Gibraltar players like us, which travel abroad.
What about the actual setup of the tournament? I mean, this year we've had less entries, but the actual venue on the day has been very good. What do you think about it personally?
Well, the venue is great. Thanks to the GDA, they set it up brilliantly. This year, and if we carry on doing the same stuff we're doing, we might attract better players and more players for next year.
After the finals, it was time for the Gibraltar Darts Committee and the local players to help clear up the venue. I took this opportunity to have a word with the GDA President, Justin Breton, about how the day had turned out.
It always goes well because we've got a lot of support, so it's fine. I mean, the venue is great, the atmosphere is great, it's been great, and especially as Gibraltar has won, it's even greater.
Obviously, this year we've had a slightly smaller venue. Do you think this has affected the amount of entries or the actual turnout of the tournament?
Not really. What has affected the tournament is the economic climate. I mean, the recession is still going on worldwide. We've had to put down the prize money. We've also had to cut down on the World Darts Federation ranking events. So, not really. As long as the venue is good, it's fine.
Well, obviously the main aim is to make this event as big as possible and attracting as many people as possible to the Rock. How's the GDA going about making this event bigger?
Well, our website is 24/7, like people know. Our website is always 24/7. But we're working closely with government. The Minister, Stephen Linares, was here, Honourable Stephen Linares was here today, and we're obviously talking to him and see how we can better things. It'll be good, hopefully, in the next few years.
And one thing I did notice today was the fact that we had Gibraltarians, English, Spanish, even Germans, Dutch and Norwegians playing today. That obviously means great things for the tournament itself.
Certainly. I mean, like Dyson said before, we've been 9 years. 9 years is a lot of advertising for any sponsor. And like I said, the website is 24/7. What we're trying to work out is to have more exposure before the event. We tend to have 3 or 4 weeks to set up and for people to know that the Gibraltar Open will happen. What we're trying to do is have a fixed venue and have months beforehand, and then we'll really be successful.
And finally, if I can just ask you, what's next for the Gibraltar Darts Association? What's next on the calendar? What tournaments are coming up?
Well, we've still got 2 more rankings to go. Ranking number 4 and the national champion. It's up for grabs. Dyson is number 1 with George Federico. George Federico just screamed up to number 1 place, and the rest will have to fight for it if they want the top spot.